Hi guys, I felt like I had to make this video to make a few things clear and also to give you guys some information about what's been happening with me lately and with my music. I wanted to explain a few things in this video, mainly clear up some confusion hopefully, and also inform you guys a little bit about what I'm actually working on at the time and what you can look forward to on this channel. And I want to be able to have a connection with you guys without the time investment it takes to answer everything. So I think this is a good solution. So yeah, basically I'm just gonna get right to it. This will be an audio edited video because I am not capable of forming coherent sentences for longer than a minute. I mean, it's I am Norwegian, so it's still kind of hard to talk to yourself like this. But let me know if you like this format and if you think it's something I should continue doing, because I know I've been brushing on to a lot of different formats. I've tried a lot of different things once, and strangely enough, none of you have really been frustrated about that, but I have. So I think this is like the best solution, because these are way easier for me to make, and I'm getting help with the editing afterwards as well. So it's much less time consuming for me, and it's a good way to interact. I should make a few of these like now and then. Again, I don't want to promise any scheduling because I don't really know when I have time to do this, but yeah, I guess we'll just see how it goes from now. So for those of you that's been listening for a longer time, besides just listening to the music that you like from a certain game, you may know that I often work with other companies on the side. That's my main job. That's my actual job. I'm a composer and I make music for video games, but it's also equally my job to make these other tracks that I put on YouTube. And I usually share my albums here on YouTube if the contract I'm in allows it. And I've been working, in secrecy on these soundtracks. So I've gotten kind of used to withholding information on certain tracks and things like that. And that's still going on all the time, and that's why suddenly there's like a full album dump, and that might be a music soundtrack that I made for another project or another company like 2 years ago maybe, and suddenly I'm allowed to release it because the game releases. And right now I'm working on actually a number of different projects, some that will be started later this year, some smaller projects, and kind of big one and a really big one that I'm working on now. One of them is something I've been working on for 2 years. It's again with Zen Studios, the guys that made Castle Storm, which I made a full soundtrack for that game, and you can probably go check that out as well in the description if you're interested. And this other project I can't really tell you much of anything about yet. That's gonna take away a lot of my time still, so I'm still not gonna be up to full upload schedule or anything like that. I've actually never had an upload schedule, and that's kind of deliberate because I have to keep the deadlines, and creativity won't always listen. You can't just sit down and make a song the same way you would do some math equations, right? It doesn't always work, and sometimes I try for 4 or 5 hours and I don't even save the file because it's just worthless. So some days are kind of like that, and it takes time. It takes a lot of time. Then I won't have leftover time to make music that I can show you guys. I hope you guys are patient with me there, because there will be more music all the time. It's just sometimes you might not hear much for a month. But I was thinking I could change that a bit with trying to be a little bit less serious about my uploads, and just also upload some stuff that I know isn't that big of a deal, but I mean, maybe you guys want to hear it anyway, so if that's something you want, then let me know. I will also most likely be busy with these big projects until start of next year, and then it's finally gonna slow down a bit. So my future plans for kind of the Waterflame artist name, I guess, is to fix up everything a little bit. I want to make a brand new page that's more streamlined, doesn't lag, that you can actually go and get some proper information, and you can buy some cool stuff. And I was kind of like asking myself, like, come on, who wants to who wants to wear my shirts, but apparently a lot of you guys do. So I basically wanted to ask you guys if you're interested in merchandise, and I'm not thinking like silly merchandise, like like my face on the cup or something like that, but like actually something that you can wear outside without looking stupid. I haven't really been sure about what to put on a shirt because I'm so indecisive about a logo, and I like so many different styles, but I definitely want to do that. And if you think that that's a cool idea, then let me know in the comments, I guess. I was also thinking about selling my own music from the page itself, so just make everything a little bit more professional, information a little bit clearer, contact information, and I will also put out the portfolio and just end all this confusion about like what category I fall into. I also want to touch on a thing with comments and PMs and such. Up until this point, I've been answering every single PM I have received. So I'm not saying that I've answered everyone here, because someone's mail might have ended up in the spam filter, and YouTube likes to tell me what's a bad message sometimes and what's a good message, and I honestly don't understand sometimes what they see as a bad and a good message. But anyways, I don't always see it, but when I do, I answer, and I've been doing that for so long, and as I got more fans, this just started to become an impossible task. And where I'm at now, if I want to answer everything that I'm receiving every day, it takes a good 2 hours out of my day every day, and that adds up. That's 2 hours of my workday, which leaves me, like maybe 6-7 hours for music, and I lose a lot of time because of this. And it's not because I don't want to answer these things, I do, but there's a lot of information that I have to give to people again that didn't bother to check the description or my website, and they ask me things over and over that I honestly don't really know why I bothered to answer up until this point, but now I don't have capacity for it anyway. So I hope that if you have like a question about if you can use my music, if you can buy my music, if you can license my music, if you want to use my music in something, then you can just read that on my page or in my description. A thing that's really been bothering me as well, that's like also taken up a lot of time, has been this confusion around copyright. And it sounds like a bad thing, right? It's scary. It's like copyright claims this and that. You see that on videos everywhere. And at some point I started to get a lot more views and a lot more buzzing around my songs because of games like Castle Crashers and Geometry Dash, things like that. And a lot of people played these games, right? So that meant that a lot of people, or people that just didn't know or don't know how the copyright systems on YouTube actually works, right? So what I would find, I would do like a search like kind of weekly on myself on YouTube, because there were so many uploads that started popping up that wasn't even people using my songs. It was just my song, like, and my picture, and sometimes it would even have my description, and they're just coming more and more of these, and sometimes, well, most of the time actually, they didn't have my actual artist name. It was just song from game. And I mean, at some point I knew that this would happen, because when I was younger I listened to a lot of music on YouTube as well, and I would find soundtracks just uploaded by some random, MacMan 89 or something like that, and I would just listen to that, and I wouldn't really like care about who uploaded it. Or I mean, at the time it wasn't really a place where you could have a job either, but I assume it's like that for a lot of people still. Like they have no concept of that side of YouTube. So yeah, this was like starting to get to me a little bit. I even started finding, it said like Castle Crashers song, and it's just one of my songs from the game, obviously, but it had like 100,000 views, and there was an ad on it, and it was actually pulling, like, I felt like it was pulling traffic away from me, because I already, I have it in my tags and everything. So when it really started to get enough was when I started finding, my songs re-uploaded on other pages with like a lot of ads and things like that, and I realized that this was money that they were making off my music. just directly money that was basically mine that I didn't collect, so they did. I also realized that I had no way of protecting myself like that. Like I can't go every weekend and do this thing where I flag other people's videos. Some people that didn't probably deserve it, that didn't know what they were doing. Some people, you know, that willingly knew what they were doing, and some people that knew what they were doing but in a positive way, like they would credit me and link to me and stuff, and that's, you know, really fine if they were trying to promote me. So I realized that I didn't want to go around flagging people, and I didn't want to start messaging people, because then I would have to have a back and forth conversation with like 50 persons every week, and probably get into, you know, like having to explain a lot of things to a lot of people. So I basically opted for my publisher, TuneCore, which currently releases all my songs to Spotify and iTunes and Amazon, sites like that. And when they came out with the option to monitor YouTube, I opted in on a few of my songs. Mind you, not all of my songs at all, because I only opted to do this on the songs where I 100% know that I can do this without infringing anyone else's license. And I've been doing so for, I think, like 2 years or something now, and that's been going pretty well, because that means that I can just let anyone re-upload my songs. And if you just search for my artist name on YouTube, and you can just filter this month, and I swear there will be so many videos there that's just my re-upload. And I think like the most popular songs, they must have like over 100 re-uploads easily. But here's the finicky thing. I couldn't really inform everyone about this in an efficient way. So what this system does on YouTube is that it will automatically detect when my song is played, and there will be placed an ad there from TuneCore. There will be a revenue claim stating that they've done so, and that revenue will go to me. Unfortunately, this is not always correct, and that is why you can dispute the claim you get, because this is an automatic system. Remember, there's no one doing this deliberately to you. This is just a system, and a flawed system if you ask me, but that's the system we have on YouTube, so that's the system we have to use. And when you, for instance, get a claim on your video, it says it's a monetization claim for TuneCore, it sounds very scary. It sounds like you're in trouble, right? But it basically puts an ad on your video, and it takes the revenue from the video and gives it to me. And if you feel like this is unfair or incorrect, for instance, like let's say you're playing Castle Crashers, and you're playing a level that has my song in it, but there's you know, you have the volume on, and it's like fighting going on, and you have the sound effects on, and you're just normally playing the game. You don't even have to have commentary over it. Like that's clearly your gameplay video. That's not my revenue money. So if you feel like that you don't want it to be there, then you can just dispute the claim under fair use, and that it's all you have to do. But instead, people that doesn't understand what this system is there for. They just think that, you know, this is scary. I got a copyright strike, like all of these. You've heard about copyright strikes. You know, it's like a really scary word on YouTube, and everyone knows that if you get 3, you're out, and that's not the same thing. That's when you get flagged for serious things like stealing someone else's video. Well, come to think of it, that is kind of similar in some cases, but well, I'm not very fussed about it. If I've already given you permission, then, you know, it's totally fine. And if you have a gameplay video you want to put up, that's totally fine. Just dispute it under fair use, because it is fair use. It's not displaying the song, it's a part of the game. If you're asking like, well, can't you do something to prevent this, like whitelist the channel or something? Well, no, I can't. That's not an option I am given. Through these 2 years, I have learned a lot more about the laws and the systems on YouTube, on the internet, and I've had some crazy episodes where, for instance, my song Glorious Morning suddenly appeared on The Voice in France, and I had to figure out why that was even a possibility. And, you know, I've learned a lot this year about laws on copyright in some countries aren't exactly up to speed with the internet laws, and because a lot of different countries has a lot of different rules, that's a very intricate and hard process. So sometimes things mismatch, and there's miscommunication and bad information, and I understand that that's confusing, but what I want to make clear in all of this is you can use my music for fair use, but it is not public domain. If you make money off something with my music, you have to have my permission. You know, read up on it if you want to make a video with a game that you know has my music in it, or anyone else's music that isn't made specifically for the game, because it might get claimed. And at least now I hope that you guys understand what's going on. And as I've always been doing, I answer every email, usually about confusion around this, but I will start linking a page instead. This page will explain this a lot better and in more detail. I already have a page like this, which you can check out. There's probably going to be a link in the description for that. So just to recap, if someone re-uploads my song in full without permission from me, that's going to get monetized probably, and I'm going to keep it there because there's no need for you to upload my song again. It's already here on my page, you can go listen to it. And if you get claimed for instance, using it in a music video or something like that you made yourself, it's that's a bit of a gray area, so I guess you can contact me then. But either way, if it's a gameplay video with sound effects and commentary and stuff like that, it's transformative and it's fair use, and you can just dispute the claim. And I know that most people actually do this, so this is just like aimed at those who have sent me a lot of mails who's kind of confused about this whole thing and think that someone's personally attacking them, something like that, because that's not the case. So I hope that will kind of end that, and I'll spend less time and resources trying to explain this from now on. I'll just have the page, and that's pretty much going to be my answer, unless there's some special occasion. And I guess that's really what I have to say about that. I was hinting towards some big news on my Facebook, and the big news I was talking about is well, it's probably obvious at this point, but I'm going to release a new album soon, and it's going to be the Skyworld universe. As many of you know, I've been making more and more tracks for this universe, and I personally think that this is going to be like my best album yet. I'm putting so much time into it, and hopefully it will be done by the start of next year, realistically. And this release is going to be a bit different, because I realized that I don't like, and you guys don't like, when I just dump an album on YouTube. Some of you feel like you're getting spammed down, and there's no hype around it or anything. So I am going to inform you guys more as I'm getting closer to the release, and I'm actually going to have pre-orders this time, and there's going to be some more related merchandise to the album. And the cool part is that I was thinking of having limited editions of this album, where I will include some more background information and maybe some extra tracks, artwork, things like that. I was basically wondering if you guys are interested in that, if that would be a cool thing to do, to print up a set amount of limited editions, because this is one of those things that I want to, unless there's enough demand for it, because that stuff costs money, just like putting out an album and having it out and things like that. That's always, you have to pay for that yourself, right? So if you guys are interested in that, I really would like to make that happen. Unfortunately, I don't have a Patreon or something like that I could link for this project, but maybe it's time to make one, so I'll look into that as well. I've been a terrible human being. I haven't really said thank you to anyone on YouTube for 200,000 subscribers, or even I haven't really done anything on the subscribers mark, and I kind of feel terrible about that, but I had to prioritize the contract work and the music work. But I really want to say thank you anyways, and it's obviously because of you guys listening that I get to do this for a living, as well as the contract work, because the one doesn't work without the other. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who's listening and supporting me, and I really appreciate that. And I think it's really cool that it seems like a lot of you write back to me when you get inspired and things like that, and I hope you guys don't feel like discouraged if I don't answer, because most of the times I read this and it makes my day better, even though I don't have time to reply. So it's just nice. So thank you guys so much for 200,000 subscribers. It's really awesome and it means a lot to me. I just didn't have time to show it, so maybe I'll have more time to do something awesome for 300,000 if I get there. I appreciate that a lot of you guys ask if I can collab with you guys, but I don't have time. And if I do collab with someone, it's on my own volition, because I talk to them on, you know, these people I collab with outside of the internet realm, so to speak, and you know, I have to want to do this for my own sake, right? So I don't have time to collab or help you guys out with your remixes and things like that, although I do encourage you guys to make remixes of my stuff. Like, that's just really cool to listen to and have fun with it. That's, you know, well within fair use, so you can do whatever you want. But yeah, so let me guys know what you think, and you know, I hope I don't wake up to my YouTube burning or something like that. Like, that's just that's been my fear in the whole of this. I guess that's all I wanted to say, and I guess we'll wrap it up there. You guys just let me know if you like this format, if you want me to continue doing these, and you know, I'll try and listen to you guys a little bit more, what you think would be better for this channel, and I'll also try and do more stuff that I want to do.